works. We know that Akbar sponsored an illustration.
We have some of those illustrations here. I'm just going to put them up now.
Illustration of 3 of the very well-known Hindu, both the epics, the Mahabharata and the Ramayana, and the Harivamsa, which followed the Mahabharata. It is the life of Krishna. So we can see this is from the Harivamsa. And
they're beautiful paintings.
They are. They were illustrated by a combination of his Hindu and Muslim painters, and they were translated by his Persian scribes. And he consulted Hindu, authorities on these works. The Razamnama was known as the Book of Wars. It was very appropriate for him to sponsor that because it helped him to learn about ruling, how to rule a nation by and how to quell just political disturbance and stuff like that. And Ramayana was sponsored as well. A copy of Akbar's Ramayana is in Sawai Man Singh Museum in Jaipur. It's preserved there, probably the most intact Ramayana by Akbar.
Some of these pictures are incredible, but I'm sure if you were to see these, firsthand, wherever they may be preserved in the world, it would be much more symbolic. But let's just quickly talk about the audience. Who was able to see this art, and is this art symbol of what was happening during that period?
Some of it was his court scenes. Some of the scenes from his own activities, his going to war or his killing animals and holding court. All that kind of stuff was real. A lot of it, what you're holding right now, is based on the story of the translation as to what was happening in the story. So there were illustrations of a particular story, of a particular scene from the epics of the books. The audience, that's a matter of academic debate as to who exactly saw the works. But as far as I can, what I know is that
up for debate.
It is
right.
Yes, it is up for debate. I would doubt if people, the ordinary people, would have access to these.
Is this Akbar here?
No, that is Jahangir.
This is another emperor.
So Jahangir followed Akbar, and he was interested in promoting art and culture as well. Both Akbar and Jahangir received Jesuit missions. The Jesuits came as adventurers and travelers, and they presented the emperors with paintings from Bible.
Yeah.
And some of these were copied and illustrated by these were sponsored by Jahangir. And Akbar himself.
Very interesting to see the relation between the Emperor Akbar, you said, the great Akbar, and him being a proponent of art during that time.
And talking about the subject matter, what the Mughal artists did was they took these ideas, but they placed them in contemporary context. So if you see, the architecture is Mughal, although we see a Jesuit or a European traveler. This is probably the more European traveler converted. This is the more European traveler converted into the Indian milieu by putting, by changing the clothes and putting in some architecture which is very local. So it was given a contemporary flavor to make it relevant to where they were. So
very cool. Dr. Monalina Bhattacharya with us here talking about the Mughal period, and of course some of the more important paintings that were made during that time. Very interesting to hear about this.
Very intense, very interesting, very intense. There's a lot you can hardly cover in one sitting.
You've studied this for years. We're giving you a piece of it here on the show here today. For more information, you can go to southasianheritage.org. Thank you very much for this.
You're most welcome.
Coming up after the break, we'll be talking, looking at Mughal fashion. We'll see you then. Welcome back. You're watching Mughal Art and Culture. And for our last segment today in this show, as we promised, we'd be talking about Mughal fashion. And sort of what was trendy during that period. Now, we're going back a couple of hundred years here, so bear with us as we take you through some of the fashions and the jewelry that was made popular during that period. Now, I have Faiza Pasha with us here today. She's a member of Hamilton's South Asian community. We've seen you here on some previous programs. Today, we're talking about the fashion, of course, of the time. Let's first talk about the influence. I mean, I know that a lot of color is involved with these fashions, but influences, where did they come from?
Well, Mughals came from Persia and via Turkestan, so they have Persian, Iranian, and all Turk influence in their art and culture and, of course, fashion.
Wow. Yeah. So influence is coming from sort of all over the region, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But we've got some jewelry to talk about. We've got some clothing to talk about. But I'm just looking at this. Like, this is some of the fabric.
It's called Banarsi.
Okay.
And this is sari, that it's a long cloth that you wrap around you. It's very important to see that when Mughals came to India, there were Hindus, local people residing there. So their art was more goddesses and figures involved in their art. Because Mughals have an Islamic background, and it's forbidden to show the pictures of persons.
I'm not seeing a lot of goddesses here.
Not
I'm seeing a lot of animals.
So it's peacocks, deers, and you can see creepers, flowers, and all the foliage that you can see in their art. And the color, the dominating color that you can see in their jewelry and in their clothing is coming from pearls, jades, and rubies that you will see.
Which is the green, white, and red, which you so predominantly see from that
Exactly.
period. So these are some of the pieces of fabrics. Let's just quickly bring in some of these. I mean, look at this outfit. This is just gorgeous. Talk to me about this.
This is a textile material called brocade, and that has some gold and some other kind of fabric involved, and this is all weaved together. So this is pretty, neat thing, and it has two legs.
Now, who would have worn this?
All the ladies, noble ladies, that belongs to the Mughal Empire, all the fancy ladies.
Okay, fancy ladies. I like that. And what do we have here next to it? This is a beautiful color.
This is something called Gagara, and this is just one piece. So the difference between this and that is that this is one piece. So the person stands.
This is incredible. Look at some of the handiwork that's involved here.
And you have this, the belt has all those bells in it.
I was going to say, it makes sounds.
Exactly.
Our fashions are making sounds here. That's incredible. Let's move on to the jewelry, Faiza, because we've got a ton of it here to show. But as you said before, the red, white, and green was very prominent. And you kind of see that here with these bracelets. Talk to us about this piece here.
Well, this piece can be worn here like this, or you can
around your arm.
Around your arm, or it's called baju band. Or, and this is a very typical Rajasthani piece of jewelry. Then I have kundan work here that has, you can see the colors dominating again, rubies and sapphires. And something that would be wear in the darbars, the courtrooms, have the pearls. This is the men wear, so the men will wear that.
Wow, I would wear that.
Yeah, for sure. Then I have some anklets, and it was a very interesting thing, and I was reading about these anklets that these show the nobility or wear by the people who are important. And so men would wear anklets as well.
And we wear anklets today. Anklets are very relevant. You see them at the beach, you see them in the summertime. But back then, in the Mughal period, if you were wearing an anklet, that was sort of a status symbol.
Exactly. So you are going to the bar or the courtroom with these anklets.
I've got to talk about this piece before we go, because this is really cool. Looks like a normal piece of jewelry, but Faiza, if you look inside here, hello, a secret compartment. What's this about?
Well, this is something very interesting that the Mughal introduced. This was where, as a good luck or God's blessing with you. So what Muslims used to do, they put Quranic verses in them. So, you know, all the things that you're related to that gives you some piece of your heart and mind, you would put in it and you wear it.
That's
so
pretty,
it stays with you.
Pretty interesting things. So the fashions and the jewelries that were worn during that period, obviously, say a lot about the person. Exactly. And just like today, fashion statements were made back then as well, whether it be an anklet or something that you're wearing on your head. You have a head
that would be very,
here.
Exactly. Somebody, it's men's headwear that they would wear. In back those days, they would have a feather on it. That's also very Persian style back then, and then has accessorized with jewelry going across it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm always so amazed at the fashions that come out of South Asia. Faiza, thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
And what's interesting too, Faiza, is a lot of the stuff that was popular in the 16th and 17th century is coming back.
Exactly.
You see a lot of it today, and it seems to be making a return.
Yeah, pearls never go out of fashion.
No, they don't.
And that was a major part of their, attire.
Yeah, that's right. Pearls never do go out of fashion. Faiza, thank you so much for this.
You're welcome.
And thank you for taking the time. If you liked this program, want to find out more about what's happening in Hamilton's South Asian community, there is a website that'll keep you in the know, southasianheritage.org for more information. Thank you so much for watching the program here today. I'm Jackie Van Dinther. We'll see you next time.